All right, Pangburn peeps, we are live. What up? What up? Um, yeah, we are live. I am live on location. I flew away to do some writing and to also see some friends. And yeah, it's been a good time so far. Um, feels crazy to not be doing a town hall right now, but yeah, it is what it is. But I'm excited to be getting some writing done, and yeah, I thought for a bit of a topic today, I would throw out there: do not make sure you're not confusing atheism with skepticism. Atheism is simply the rejection of the claims that gods exist. That's what the atheist position is. You just say, "I don't believe that claim." Um, and one thing I've noticed is that I've noticed a lot of irrationality and complete lack of skepticism within uh, atheist social media groups. I just posted on my Facebook. By the way, if you guys aren't following me on Facebook, if we're not friends on Facebook, I opened up my personal Facebook for people. So please just search me out, Travis Pangburn. Send me a friend request. I encourage interesting discussions every day on Facebook. So um, please do join me. Uh, but I've been engaging with some atheist groups lately on the topic of race. It seems like in these groups that if you talk about any of the failures of the Black Lives Matter movement or organization, I would say, is a better way to describe it. Um, People think you're a racist. They call you a racist simply for um, having disagreements about, you know, whether it's racist or not, to be assuming and labeling people based on the color of their skin. I think it's racist in general to do that. And uh, one thing I've noticed is that there's this bug within some of these communities, some of these atheist groups that um, seeks to wishes to shut down opportunities to have conversations about important issues. I'm seeing a lot of cancel culture like attitudes within these groups. And a lot of people would think, well, I mean, they're atheists. They ought to be open for rational discourse and engaging in the war of ideas on any topic. Well, no, atheism doesn't come with that. Atheism is simply the rejection of claims, and a lot of people rejection of claims that gods exist, and a lot of people think that that means that they're going to be rational or apply that same skepticism in other areas. But it seems like when it comes to politics, political issues, issues of race, issues of racism, uh, all that kind of stuff, there seems to be no substance and all outrage. And I don't think that helps these conversations at all. So today, I believe I've been called a racist probably 25 times um, because of, as most of you know, I've declared ideological war on Black Lives Matter, which I think is a fun way of um, saying that these are the things I oppose, and it's also something where people don't know really what they why they have a problem with Black Lives Matter, and they don't really know how to put it down on paper. A lot of people have given me feedback to say this is exactly the problems I've had with Black Lives Matter for a long time, but I just didn't know how to say it and get it down. And they tell me that they fully support what I'm doing. And the non-violent approach to trying to eradicate some bad ideas that exist within Black Lives Matter. And of course, I declared ideological war on Ben Shapiro for the same reasons, for his stance on parents being able to have their babies' dicks sliced. But what's new with you guys? I think I saw some comments here. Make sure you hit the like button when you get into the room. I really appreciate it, and I hope I'm coming in clear for you guys. ANCR says Yo, how are you doing, man? I'm doing good. I am elsewhere right now. I flew out of Vancouver a couple days ago, and I've been working on my book, writing, visiting with some friends, and also just relaxing a bit. It's been nice. Um, and what else? Let's see. ANCR said, yeah, Black Lives Matter movement. Um, there we go. Just became about anarchism and communism. Yeah, I don't know about communism, but there are a lot of anarchy, anarchist type activity and thinking going on out there, and just like and this like kind of this like Antifa like cancel cultist attitude that's existing within these a lot of these social media atheist groups that I'm seeing, and I have a lot of people um, who follow me who belong to these groups as well, and they feel like if they are to like support even a single argument of mine, like the machismo cultural argument as to why we see so many males incarcerated in the United States, and also black males. But it's not only about black males, it's about literally there's a machismo issue within many pockets of different cultures that include different races. Um, looks like they had Sean the Humble says atheists work within a very narrow paradigm. Why do you believe what you believe? Even moon landings were staged. What? I think you're saying that's what atheists say. I don't know. I don't know what you're saying. Uh, atheists ought to work, move through. Atheists and everyone else ought to adhere to the rules of skepticism, logic, the scientific method. That's all you really need. And then you need a moral system, which I think the best moral system I can come up with is maximizing well-being for yourself and those around you. And I'm not saying I invented it, but I'm just saying that's the best one I can think of when coming up with a moral foundation for myself, um, figuring out how to navigate the world. Um, yeah. But what's new with you guys? Um, uh, what are you guys seeing out in the world with regards to this race issue? Also, if anyone wants to chime in on hydrochloroquine, um, the drug, I see a lot of like I see a lot of reputable um, uh, hospitals and let's say uh, healthcare institutions talking about the effectiveness of hydrochloroquine when uh, when treating COVID-19. But also there are a lot of people coming out saying that, trying to debunk these people who are saying that, and uh, the evidence is anecdotal at best. It looks like that hydrochloroquine actually is helping or is a determining factor in these patients that seem to get better. The problem is we need data to show that they are getting better because of the hydrochloroquine, right? So there's a lot of mixed messages going on out there. ANCR says every news that is coming up is making me oh so depressed. It really sucks. Yet I can't stop watching. Yeah, the mainstream media news is all about sensationalism, right? So you're going to be pumped full of sensationalism if you're watching the news all the time. F.O. Anderson, how's it going? ANCR says, I'm in Lebanon. Believe me when I tell you racism is the least of our problems. So, ANCR, when you say you're in Lebanon, what would you say are the biggest problems for you as a citizen living in Lebanon? Daniel C says, as an atheist, I just don't believe in deities. Yeah. Um, Let me ask you, Daniel C. What do you think? Like, if you do belong to any atheist groups, let's say on Facebook or any other social media platform, and you were to go on there and say something like, "I think Black Lives Matter promotes the racist idea of white privilege," what do you think the responses would be on there? Um, I think if we are to view, just for the sake of argument, view atheism as a community, people who happen to lack a belief in gods, um, you would suspect that people who were able to find themselves able to live a life without adhering to some sky daddy or needing some sky daddy to feel good about themselves, uh, you would you would think that they would be open up for rational discourse on any topic. Like the war of ideas would be something you want to engage in, but unfortunately, seeing political radicalization within the atheist community rampant. So even in some of the some of my some of the people I think are great thinkers, great skeptics, I see them afraid to deal with political arguments because they're afraid of how their audience is going to react, because their big portions of their audience are so triggerable when it comes to political issues that they just see red and unfollow, unsubscribe. Fuck this guy. I thought he was something else that he wasn't. Fuck him. The whole way I think about this person now, because of the way they approach this argument, fuck them. Just and if you're operating with this cancel mentality, I'm gonna cancel watching this person because I don't like this one thing they said. That is that is a pitiful existence and a pitiful skeleton to be living in. That it's just so brittle that you hear an argument you detest so deeply that you need to run away, and you need to tell other people about it, and you need to tell them, you need to do everything you can, slander, smash someone's character any way you can to try and discredit them instead of dealing with their argument. This is rampant in atheist communities, which I would say tend to have a fair amount of the radical far left extremist types that are into all of this cancel culture, punch a Nazi, uh, it, outrage, right? The virtue payback that you get from posting this outrage. Who can be the most outrageous when it comes to race? Who can be the most outrageous when talking about their hate of Donald Trump? Who can be the most outrageous of talking about their hate of Ben Shapiro? Who can be the most outrageous of talking about their hate for Candace Owens or the conservative twins or these other black people who, oh yeah, black people who don't agree with my view of Black Lives Matter are just delusional black people. It's almost to the point of saying they're not real black people. They're Uncle Toms. There is racism going on with this whole race movement that is being masked and masqueraded as um, as this big fight to uncover this racist system and to find the evidence for this racist system. And if we can't find the evidence, whatever, we'll still believe it because we know it's there. We're starting off with that premise. We know it's there. This isn't skepticism. This isn't rational. This isn't logical. It's not sound. It's just faith-based trash like we see when some religious tard gets up on a stand and says, I can see you and feel you right now, Father. I can see it. Notice how my eyes rolled in the back of my head? I can see you now, Father. This is the kind of delusion and crap I'm seeing within some of these atheist community groups. It's crazy, man. Um, let's get to some of your guys' comments. Wow, this is okay. Sushi says that's spot on about racism. Welcome, Sushi. F.O. Anderson says, if an ant can't comprehend computer science, I can possibly comprehend a God. I can't possibly comprehend a God. What do you mean by that? Don Prager says, I think it depends whether or not you are part of an atheist Republican group or if you're part of an atheist libertarian group. But if you're part of a general atheist, well, yeah, these are just general atheist groups that say atheism uh, or gay atheism, fuck religion, like these kinds of groups. No, it's not, Don. It's not that they just disagree. It's they jump to attacking my character. There's no dealing with the argument that I'm presenting. It's just all on. We got a racist in the room. Let's smash him into the ground until the admins get here and inevitably ban him because he came to the group to he wanted to get everyone's take on what he thinks about the Black Lives Matter movement. Yeah, after this live stream, hey, Michaela just asked, will you join the Discord after and we can chat? Yeah, I'll jump on to Discord with you guys. Guys, if you're not part of the Pangburn Discord, it's in a lot of the comment sections and the descriptions for our town halls. So just click on that and you'll get the link. Scott Mertro says, maybe part of the problem we face, at least in the US, is that we grow up without being taught how to discuss opposing ideas in regards to politics and religion, important yet taboo to discuss. Yes, just teaching kids how to think properly is just not done. It's not done, and it's very rare if it is done, and even more rare if it's done properly. Instilling a solid foundation skepticism in kids, understanding the scientific method, understanding this idea of my own truth is just nonsense. Um, and Don Prager says that's the same thing Candace Owens says about other Black people. She says that are brainwashed and manipulated. Yeah, but the thing is Candace Owens, if you deal with her arguments, if you're going to go up against her, if she's going to say these people are delusional because they're making faith-based claims about systemic racism still existing and things like this, that is a mark of delusion if you're engaging in faith-based belief. So that if she makes that argument and she supports it with, do you believe that there's still systemic racism going on in the United States? And someone says, yes, I believe it with all my heart to be true. And she says, well, where's your evidence? And they say, look at this race-based statistic. It's like, look at how many Black males are incarcerated versus white males. That's evidence. If you can't see that as evidence, like you're crazy. It's like that is the speech of a delusional person. Michaela Miller says, what do you say when people accuse skeptics of not being skeptical of skepticism? Well, people who say that don't know what skepticism is. If you're skeptical of skepticism, you're engaging in cynicism. Skepticism in itself is a perfect tool. It's just a reminder to tell you to question things and to keep questioning things, including when you think you know something. Even questioning your beliefs, even the things you believe, you just continue to question it. And not to a point of like, if someone says, I just went to the grocery store and got some celery, and they bring celery in, you are reasonably justified to believe that they just did that. If they didn't have celery with them, you might say, oh, well, where's the celery? Like, oh, it's in my bag. Oh. It's like, accuse skeptics of being skeptical of skepticism. This is a question you would ask. This is a question a cynic would ask. It's crazy. Daniel C says critical thinking is old-fashioned nowadays. Yeah. Well, no. Let's not say nowadays. It's critical thinking is so. We are so far beyond what we ever could even imagine based on statistics. Everyone needs to read Enlightenment Now by Steven Pinker. We are doing very good, folks, in this. I do see it does frustrate me to see the atheist community groups engaging in this irrationality, this cancel cultist like behavior, social extremism. That's why I created that label, because social extremism covers all of this. Oh, here's a guy saying something. It's not part of the script. Kill him. Delete him. Ban him. Silence him. Not, well, let's engage with his arguments. What an opportunity. Zen29 says, question everything, especially yourself. Sup, Trav? Hello, everyone. What up, Zen? Don says, was Descartes a cynic? Maybe. Or Immanuel Kant? Yeah, maybe. Does Kant specifically critique reason itself? Yeah, I mean, people can be cynical, and whether they're a philosopher or a scientist or a cashier, everyone can fall into cynicism with regards to ideas. It's okay to question, like to think about skepticism and to think about how skepticism applies and how it works and what it is and these things. It's okay to think about this stuff, but when you come like, I don't think you're being skeptical of your skepticism. My beard just went to full edgelord. It's like, what is the application of this question? What is the purpose? What are we trying to discover here? Oftentimes, what's happening when people ask that question is they're finding ways to prove that they don't have to adhere to skepticism. They don't have to question. They it's like, well, why question anything? If our skepticism is flawed, why would we even attempt to know anything? It's just, yeah. F.O. Anderson says the genius of their slogan is that if you disagree, then you sound hateful to them, even if you are just disagreeing with the organization and their stated goals. Those 3 words are trademarked. Yeah. Well, I posted, and of course, you get lots of negative reactions. Black lives matter just as much as Asian lives matter. Crystal clear, easy, with a moral system intact, the answer should be, yeah, definitely. Definitely. Don Prager says, so you're talking about pseudo-intellectuals? No, I don't like using that term. It's like some people who are labeled pseudo-intellectuals can still be really good in one other area. Usually what happens is they they get onto this idea that seems to be dabbling in pseudo intellectualism. Like perhaps some people would say that about Jordan Peterson with his when he says, "Yeah, I think gods exist in the metaphorical sense, like, and I would claim it to be true. Yeah, I think it's true that gods exist." Long pause. In the metaphorical sense, a lot of people would be like, uh, "Oh, that's pseudo intellectual." I don't think that one's pseudo intellectual, but you do see someone like Deepak Chopra maybe engaging in something that is pseudo scientific. See, pseudo. I think that's the problem. Pseudo intellectual. I don't really know what that means. Like, if someone is not being intelligible and it's like based on woo woo premises, maybe what they're saying. I don't know. That's a tough one. Like, I guess Deepak Chopra talking about the quantum and how the quantum will come up and emerging in the quantum in the consciousness. It's like, just because you say quantum, man, doesn't mean that you're winning the Nobel Prize. Charlie Waffle says Latinos' lives matter too. Yes, Latinos' lives matter too. Essay. Yes, Latino lives, white lives, even white lives. uh, yeah, Black lives matter as much as Asian lives matter. Um, Astounding that this would trigger people or make people upset. It's astounding to me. Very interesting, and I love to see the reactions. Social media is great for this. You get to see people's knee-jerk reactions to things before they kind of think about them, apply some skepticism to their initial knee-jerk reaction. It's a good way to expose irrationality. A lot of people wonder why I post. People say, "Oh my God, you just posted such an inflammatory thing." I think it's extraordinary that something like Black Lives Matter as much as Asian Lives Matter is extraordinary. Um, Don Don says, just because you are saying how skeptical are you about skepticism does not mean you are engaging. Um, this thing goes away. Yeah, you're not. Yeah, it doesn't mean you're engaging in the intellectual process if you're sitting there saying, "How skeptical are you about skepticism?" Um, yeah. General Noah says, because I do believe every true skeptic has to be an agnostic atheist. Yeah, so agnostic atheist, yes. I'm happy to adopt the Gnostic position as long as the person I'm having a conversation with understands that I can claim that no gods exist in this to the same level of certainty that I can claim that no Santa Claus exists or no Easter Bunny exists. I'm willing to apply that much certainty to it. So if someone's going to say, "Well, that's not absolute certainty," I would say, "Well, I don't think you can be absolutely certain about anything." But and which is why I don't like adopting the burden of proof of trying to claim that there are no invisible fairies flying around my head right now, because trying to disprove there's a reason why we evaluate claims based on the claim maker. Um, but uh, but but yeah, uh, Gnostic atheism, because guys, it's not up to atheists to demonstrate why there are no gods. We don't take on that burden of proof. Just like if I was to say there are invisible fairies flying around my head right now, I would not just believe that just because you couldn't demonstrate that it wasn't so. It's nonsense. Anyways, guys, thank you for stopping by. I wanted to give you guys an update. The book is coming along. It's coming. And I wanted to just say hi, engage with you guys a bit. And I wanted to bring up this point because I see this happening a lot, and the atheist groups can keep banning me from their groups, but it's not going to change the arguments that I think they must wrestle with and deal with to help them escape out of some of these delusional faith-based positions that I think they do hold. But thank you guys so much. I'm going to jump over on a Discord right now. If you guys aren't part of the Pangburn Discord, please join us. I can't put the description in this chat right here, but if you go to our town hall videos and you go into the description, there's a link if you want to join our Discord. I hope you do. Yeah, cool. Well, I'll see you guys there. Hopefully, I will live stream again soon. And as always, let art and science inspire. Thanks, guys.